George Washington Biography. George Washington was one of the greatest leaders in the history of America. He is known as the "Father of the Nation" because of his important role in the creation of the United States of America. George Washington was not only a brave soldier and military commander, but he was also a wise politician and a respected president. His life story is full of struggle, leadership, honesty, and sacrifice for his country. Even today, people around the world remember him as a symbol of courage and patriotism. George Washington was born on February 22, 1732, in Westmoreland County, Virginia, which was then a British colony in North America. His father's name was Augustine Washington, and his mother's name was Mary Ball Washington. George belonged to a farming family. When he was young, he learned discipline, honesty, and hard work from his parents. Unfortunately, his father died when George was only 11 years old. After his father's death, George had to take responsibility at an early age. George Washington did not receive a very high formal education, but he was intelligent and hardworking. He loved mathematics, geography, and surveying. As a young man, he worked as a land surveyor in Virginia. This job helped him gain knowledge about land, forests, and the people living in different areas. It also made him strong and independent. His work as a surveyor played an important role in building his confidence and leadership skills. In his early 20s, George Washington joined the Virginia militia. At that time, Britain and France were fighting for control in North America. This conflict became known as the French and Indian War. Washington showed bravery and leadership during the war. Although he faced many difficulties and dangers, he gained military experience that later helped him in a much bigger struggle. The most important chapter of George Washington's life began during the American Revolutionary War. At that time, the American colonies were under British rule. The people of the colonies were unhappy because Britain imposed heavy taxes and unfair laws on them. The colonists wanted freedom and independence. In 1775, George Washington was chosen as the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. Leading the army was not easy. The American soldiers were poorly trained, lacked food, weapons, and warm clothing. On the other hand, the British Army was powerful and experienced. Despite these challenges, George Washington never lost hope. He encouraged his soldiers and stayed strong during difficult times. His determination and courage inspired the American people. One of the most famous moments of the war was when Washington crossed the Delaware River in 1776 during winter to attack enemy forces. This brave action became a symbol of hope and determination. Washington's leadership eventually helped the American colonies defeat Britain. In 1776, the United States declared independence from Britain. After several years of war, America finally won its freedom in 1783. George Washington became a national hero because of his role in achieving independence. People trusted and respected him deeply. After the war, America faced many problems. The country needed a strong government to unite the states. In 1787, leaders gathered to create the United States Constitution. George Washington played an important role in this process and was chosen as the president of the Constitutional Convention. In 1789, George Washington became the first president of the United States. He was elected unanimously, meaning everyone agreed that he was the best choice. As the first president, Washington had a huge responsibility because he had to set an example for future presidents. He worked hard to build a stable and effective government. During his presidency, George Washington focused on unity, peace, and economic development. He selected intelligent and honest people for his cabinet. He believed that the country should stay united and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Washington also worked to improve relations with other countries and strengthen America's economy. George Washington served as president for 2 terms. After 8 years, he decided not to run for a 3rd term. This decision was very important because it showed that no leader should remain in power forever. He believed in democracy and peaceful transfer of power. Later, this tradition became an important part of American politics. One of the reasons why George Washington is admired so much is his character. He was known for honesty, discipline, and humility. There are many stories about his honesty, including the famous tale of the cherry tree, which symbolizes truthfulness. Although some stories may not be completely historical, they show how people viewed his character. George Washington was also a successful farmer. He owned a large estate called Mount Vernon in Virginia. He loved agriculture and spent much of his retirement managing his farms. Even after becoming famous, he preferred a simple and peaceful life. On December 14, 1799, George Washington died at the age of 67. His death was a great loss for America. People across the nation mourned him deeply. Even after his death, his legacy continued to inspire future generations. Today, George Washington is remembered as one of the greatest leaders in American history. The capital city of the United States, Washington, D.C., is named after him. His picture appears on the $1 bill, and many schools, roads, and monuments honor his memory. The famous Washington Monument stands as a symbol of respect for his contributions. George Washington's life teaches us many lessons. He showed the importance of courage, honesty, sacrifice, and leadership. He dedicated his life to serving his country and helping his people gain freedom and unity. His actions changed the course of history and helped create one of the world's most powerful nations. In conclusion, George Washington was not just the first president of America, he was the foundation of the nation itself. Through his bravery in war, wisdom in leadership, and dedication to democracy, he earned the respect of millions of people. His story continues to inspire people around the world. George Washington will always be remembered as a true hero, a great leader, and the father of the United States of America.